In Romans 1:23, we come across a very interesting word to do with process. It is the word Allasso or Allassos. And in 1:23, it's a neutral Greek word that talks about something being changed into something else. In that case, it's talked about the glory of God being interchanged into something that is terribly inferior. But what we're about in City Vision is taking this idea of Allassos and saying, let's take that which is inferior in our society and that which is not, and working with it to bring back the glory of God. Now, God has always had, it seems, processes that he encapsulates the DNA of kingdom culture. Right back at the beginning, we had the catechumenate, where as you became a disciple, you'd go through quite a sophisticated Q&A process, maybe over 2 years, where you learned the basics of the Christian faith and became a disciple. We saw it in St. Ignatius of Loyola with the spiritual exercises, which enabled the Jesuits to become the strong force that they have been in history. We saw it in Wesley with the class system, a very simple DNA process where people would come together each week, reflect upon the week on temptations and victories and answers to prayer and sins struggled with and various things. They'd have a time of confession and sharing. They would encourage one another and they would pray and go out into the coming week. We see the process, that DNA process encapsulated in things like the Discipleship Training School, the DTS, run by YWAM, 6 weeks or 6 months. Very powerful. We see it in Alpha, where over 20 million people now around the world, through a simple process, have come in at one end, not knowing and understanding the Christian faith, and come out at the other as committed people, full of the Spirit, desiring to serve Jesus. Now, what we don't have at the moment is a process that takes the typically the unity groups, of which there are about 130 in the UK, where church leaders and Christian business leaders and government leaders are meeting together in cities, all of them struggling with how do we see the kingdom come to the city, which is the number one question of City Vision. What does the city look like when the kingdom has fully come? And the process that we're putting together, Allasso, would enable people to come in at one end and work through a whole set of issues in that kind of video-based workshop experience, that a series of which constitutes and makes up Alpha, a similar way, but able to come out the other end, hearing from God, having something to say, and enabling them to go into the city not with their own ideas, but with the ideas given by God. So Allasso is a way in which Christians can come together, experience truth together, discover each other, come together in a far greater and deeper sense of love for one another, hear from God, and then be enabled and encouraged to go out into the city, reach out, form relationships with the civic leaders, and see city transformation come. So that's a little about the Allasso process, that it's at the heart of what City Vision is bringing.